What's up, Josh? Here at Camp Grace. I'm actually here with two people who were praying for you all week, and we're going to talk about why it is important to learn how to pray and how to read the Bible. So this is Miss Chanel and Miss Pam. What are some tips you would give them about reading the Bible and praying?
Well, I'll start prayer first. One of the things that I think is the key to prayer is that to realize it's not a one-way street. You know, prayer is not a one-way communication. It's not just you talking to God, but it's actually you listening to. And I think that's a key to it. So many times we go and we just say what we need to say and then we walk away instead of expect to hear and to listen also. And I think the second key thing is to realize that we don't have to be all professional and, oh God, this, and our language doesn't have to be that of the Old Testament, but we can just be real. I mean, sometimes I just go to him and I just call him love, or sometimes, it's, hey, I'm really thinking about this. I don't know that I formally address him. It's just a constant conversation with him all day long. So, it can be while I'm doing dishes or while I'm doing something with my kids, just like, oh, hey, I've got this question. And it's just communication all day long, back and forth.
Nice. So prayer there's no formal way to pray. Pray is communication. It is conversation. You can talk to God whenever, wherever, about any and everything. But also remember, He wants to speak to you too. Prayer is also listening.
Yeah.
Well, what about the Bible? What do you think?
Well, can I jump back to prayer real quick?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. So one way that I like to pray is like at the end of the day, I just sit down, it's just me and the Father, and I just start thinking about my day. And if something's happened during the day that kind of just is still bothering me, I will, I'm like, God, what was up with this? Why did she say that? And sometimes I'll even talk to God like I talk to, Chanel. Well, she said that, and then I said this, and then, and I'm like, I just go ahead and tell him, I'm like, God, I just don't understand, why did she say that to me? Why did she hurt? And then just be quiet. And a lot of times God will just make it clear to me maybe what that person was going through at the time. Maybe it had nothing to do with me, or maybe they mistaken something I had said. Or sometimes I do the same thing. Sometimes I even like, God, why does this keep popping up in my life? Why do, when situations like this happen, I get mad or I get, defensive, and am I afraid, or is it my pride? And then I just sit with him because, he's in that situation. He is with us all the time. And so he knows what went on. He knows what's in their heart. He knows what's in my heart. And it helps me to just sit and let him start running thoughts through my mind that will help me realize maybe I keep doing this because I'm scared of that people won't like me or people won't think I'm good enough. And then he helps me realize, you know what? He loves me. I need to trust in that. Or you know what? She's just really going through a bad time and I need to give her grace. I need to just say, you know what? I'm not going to hold this against you. And just having those quiet times with God helps me kind of figure that out.
Nice. So now let's get some tips on the Bible. The Bible can be very intimidating if you're new. So what are some practical ways that you think would help them learn how to read the Bible?
Okay. Well, what I like to do, especially with the stories of Jesus, like in the first 4 books of the New Testament, there's all kinds of stories of when Jesus was here and how he worked with people. And so I like to pick out one story about Jesus and I just read it, and I focus really strong on what was Jesus doing in that story. Like, how was he interacting with people, and how did he listen to people, and then how did he talk to people, and what did he do for them or didn't do for them? And I just look at Jesus and what he did, and then just try to think about him in my own life, how he is in different situations, and how would he maybe deal with situations in my own life. And sometimes I like to, when I do that, I'll just read that even out loud. It just maybe helps me visualize it and see the story in my mind. Sometimes I even like pretend I'm in the story, just watching it happen. And I imagine like what the smells are, what I'm hearing from other people, or just what I'm seeing around. And it just helps me get involved in the story, not just like reading something boring at school, So that's what I do. And I love it.
What about you?
I definitely take chunks of scripture and read the stories, and I do the same thing as far as, picturing how it must have felt and rereading them. But one thing I like to do is that helps me through the day is that I'll take a scripture, I'll ask God to give me a scripture, and I'll chew on it all day. That's what I'm meditating on. So when I'm going all of a sudden to anger or unforgiveness or bitterness, or I'm having thoughts that I know are not in agreement with God, I immediately go to my scripture verse of the day. And I just ask God for more and more. And sometimes I'll have a scripture verse and then I'll think, oh, that was really cool, all God showed me that day. And the next day he still shows me more on that. And I'm thinking, surely I can't get any more out of this. Mm-hmm. And he does. He just continues to show you more. I mean, we just cannot believe all that is in just, even one scripture verse and the wisdom that God will have and how he'll use it throughout the day in our life that will pertain to what's going on in our day that day. So I always have a scripture verse to start in the morning, and it will be a verse that I meditate on for the day.
So you hear it, you can visualize it, you can pick out one. You need to read the Bible. You cannot live a Christian life and know Jesus without living the Bible. Also, ask your leader to teach you how to read the Bible. You can meet up with them one day a week and they can teach you how to read the Bible. You don't know where to start? Ask your leader where to start with reading the Bible. But you need to read the Bible and you need to learn to pray if you want to continue to follow Jesus.